Hello, Tabitha. Welcome to Classic 107. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today, especially when the bakery is so busy. First of all, I want to ask, why is Easter so special to you, especially in this time of year?
I think what is wonderful about Easter is what is happening in nature. The spiritual year and the earth year are 1 year. So it doesn't look very green out there, does it?
No.
And one of the things I've learned when you live as long as I have is once I heard a religious prof say, all major religions have a fast around this time. And the idea is to get ready for this incredible mystery and rebirth. We need a time of introspection and quietness. This year, I feel we've all lived Lent, which is that year, all year.
Yeah.
We've really, COVID year has been that, a time of waiting, and it's dark, and we're waiting for the light. And then comes Easter. And with Easter, there's this massive shift in the universe and in our hearts. And so I love Easter because of that transition of hope. And this year especially, it is so wonderful to wait for the greening.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that the Tallgrass Bakery in Wolseley and at the Forks has already been starting baking for Easter for quite a few weeks now. You began by baking one of the season's most iconic items, the hot cross bun, at the beginning of Lent. The history of the bun goes way back. Can you tell us the story of the hot cross bun?
Yes. The hot cross bun really comes from the Romans, and the Romans made them, or these round, fruit-filled, raisin-filled buns to lure the spring sun back. I hope that if we made it attractive for the sun by offering something to the sun god, the sun would return. And I guess as Christianity came in, these people were not about to give up the treats and the things they love. So these days we call it cultural appropriation, right?
Right.
The monks insisted on baking these things in the early monasteries, and they just put a cross on it. And there we have hot cross buns. Strangely enough, they became the most popular in England.
Yeah.
England, as early Christianity, there they became the tradition. And it's never gone away. And I think it's a really good way for us to await the joy of the earth and to celebrate. And our recipe is very, very old, and we have not changed it. We think many modern varieties, you can't find the fruit or the raisins. We make our own fruit peel, which makes them very, very special, which involves, we do a lot of catering at the Forks. So we do a lot of orange and lemon peeling, and we save the peelings and then grind them up and add sugar and reduce it and make our own peel. So it's a cut above when it's that fresh.
Sure.
And we add enough raisins. There's a saying in Holland, you shouldn't have to get on your bike to find the fruit peel or the raisins. So I think that we've kept that as a kind of a rule. So our hot cross buns are very delicious, the spices and the homemade peel. And yeah, they're very popular.
Yeah, I was on the Tallgrass Bakery website, and I was actually doing some reading about the hot cross buns, and I didn't realize this, that apparently in England they were used to not only feed people, but also they were good to like ward off, sickness and whatever. That was
Shipwrecks. It's insurance that tastes great.
Yeah.
It wards off evil of spirits, whether it's be spirits or shipwrecks or
It's a great story.
And who's to say it doesn't?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And
legends have their own truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A really unique item that you have at the bakery every year is the butter lamb. Can you tell us about this customer favorite?
One of our staff came from Holland, and she brought this butter lamb tradition with her. And I was chatting with her yesterday, and she said, as a child, in the village, this is not all across Holland, but in her area, which is dairy where a lot of dairy farms are. At Easter, when the milkman would come around with the wagon and on his horse,
Yeah.
they would have at Easter time, you could bring out your plate and his wife would make these butter lamps. But her family has a butter press, which is over 100 years old. So they made their own and she brought it with her. And so when she started working for us, she said, could I make butter lamps for Easter? And they're just so endearing because eggs and lamb are some of the oldest symbols of Easter tide.
Yeah. And we have actually a butter lamb here in this studio. It's not in camera. Tabitha, can you maybe hold it up just for those viewers who are watching this on YouTube? It's when you brought it in, I was fascinated. It is literally, it's a piece of butter in the shape of a lamb.
And it's for the Easter table because both eggs and lambs are such old symbols of spring. They predate Christianity. And I think nothing fills our hearts with joy as to actually see frolicking lambs, which, of course, on the farm are now happening.
Yeah.
So I think all of us have a response to that in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tallgrass makes 3 special breads during the Easter season. Christopomo bread, Easter saffron bread, it's also known as Pascha in the Slavic tradition, and Tallgrass fruit bread. Can you describe these 3 breads to our listeners?
Yes. Well, I think first of all, we have to recognize that a lot of Easter breads come out of the tradition of Lent, where people have been on a vegan diet. So one of the similarities of all these breads is like they couldn't get enough protein and sugar into them. So they're very rich.
Oh, wow.
Because people were so deprived already. And you have to realize people worked so incredibly hard. To do that on a vegan diet wasn't always easy. So the Christopomo bread, I'll start with that, which is from the Greek Orthodox tradition. And it's basically butter, eggs, sugar with just enough flour to hold it together. And anise flavored. It melts in your mouth.
Oh, wow.
Saffron, of course, is from the East tradition. And saffron, there was a time when saffron was worth more than gold. It's still pretty pricey. But it's just such a symbol of the sun, like the orange yellow and the subtle flavor. And again, lots of butter and eggs and the saffron. And that's a braided bread. So I think interconnection is a celebration of that.
Right.
And the fruit bread, again, is Swiss, British. We make a very simple version, again, using our own fruit peel. So those 3, I think Easter, it takes a lot to celebrate Easter. And those 3 breads and the hot cross buns. And then we also make little cookies, Easter chickies. Because again, the egg and chicks are such a good symbol to us, and dyed Easter eggs. We also give away little wheat baggies because we think everybody should experience the mystery of the greening. It's especially wonderful to do that for everyone. But kids love it. They love waiting for the grass.
So is it different kinds of grass, or are they like...
It's our Red 5 wheat.
Okay.
It's what we use every day. Red 5 is the first wheat that grew on the prairie successfully. There's great controversy about who actually brought the seeds. The Scottish have claim Red 5, David 5 from Scotland.
Right.
But the Hutterites and the Mennonites say they brought it. The Ukrainians said they call it Halachinka. In actuality, they probably all brought it because it was the hardiest variety. And it has a wonderful nutty flavor and color. So you can grow this grass as you wait. Now is the time you can pick up little baggie at either bakery. And we really encourage that and grow it and be hopeful.
Yeah, of course. Tallgrass Bakery also offers heat and eat meals to take home. What Easter favorites are available through Tallgrass Bakery?
Lamb, of course, a lamb stew. This year, the supplier of that is a young farm family, Elam Farm, from the southwest corner of Manitoba, and they're trying to establish a sustainable farming system, and it's very delightful to buy the lamb directly from them and to just feel their respect and love for these animals, and so that's very special. So the lamb stew is the big thing, and we also do lamb meatballs on a pasta dish. Usually we do a ham and scallop potatoes meal, but this time because of COVID, it's still been such a stretch. We actually haven't been able to get that one in the pipeline. So next year.
Really?
So we also have bison stew. Chicken pot pie continues to be an amazing favorite for many seniors, no matter what the season. So that's...
I have to ask the question, where are you getting your bison from?
Swan Lake First Nations until recently, and right now it's from Borderland Farm. Swan Lake is having hit the pause button because they're setting up their own abattoir.
Okay.
So we're excited about being part of that. But they contacted us because they wanted to grow their bison herd, and it's very special to us because they are people who really respect the bison, and it's wonderful to know that when this bison comes to us, it's been prayed over and blessed. So,
people can always pop by either the Tallgrass location, either in Wolseley or at the Forks, for prepaid pickup and delivery service. How do you feel about pre-ordering? Is this something you would recommend?
Highly. I highly recommend it. Also, I think it's really safe for people who really, especially seniors, who don't feel good going out. And like if you come to the Forks, there's one door, the Pancake House, and we're so happy to offer that. And it's evolved, and I think it's going to stay. It allows people who couldn't come down and couldn't buy our stuff to get it. And the appreciation is amazing. It's very heartwarming. They send back tips with the driver. So it's a way of communicating. It's an old-fashioned way of doing business, and we're happy to do it.
Yeah, and I remember the last time you and I were chatting, you had a window installed in the Wolseley location where people can pick up their dishes, which is just fantastic.
That hasn't been used as much as we thought it would be, but it is very handy. In Wolseley, people continue to so patiently line up, cold or warm. They just line up. They want to come in, and that's been just an incredible journey of faithfulness. I just want to say to our listeners and to the people who are our customers, thank you so much. Winnipeg is amazing, and its loyalty to its little places. So we're proud to be one of those.
Small businesses all the way, for sure.
Yes.
And finally, Tabitha, what is your favorite dish that you and your family enjoy every year for Easter?
That's a trick question because if I'm celebrating with my neighbors and friends, which I often do, we have a wood-fired brick pizza oven outside that our neighbors and I share. So then I do the traditional ham. But given a choice of if I'm by myself, which the last Easter and this Easter has been our reality, I become a Hutterite again and have roast duck.
Oh, wow.
Because that's the favorite Hutterite celebration. And so I will do roast duck, and then next year I look forward to doing ham with my neighbors.
I know for myself, the big Easter meal is very often lamb, and we were talking about lamb, and so lamb stew sounds just amazing.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with lamb, so like I say, it's these true traditions. But I could see myself doing lamb with my friends and the brick oven. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Tabitha, as always, it's just been such a pleasure to have you here chatting about the bakery. I'm hungry, and it's only a little bit after 9 in the morning. I'm going to have to pop by the kitchen and have some of the hot cross buns that you gave us. Tabitha, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. And for everybody out there, be hopeful. Watch the greening.
Mm-hmm. And can't come too soon.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Bye.